Hello everyone. I am retired New York police detective and YouTube personality Ronald Lee Chardy, otherwise known as DutyRon.
And I am Dan Ribacoff, also an ex-cop and formerly the polygraph examiner of the Steve Wilkos Show.
I want to tell you about how I wholeheartedly support Mr. Ribacoff despite knowing how much he viciously bullies and abuses vulnerable individuals for his own selfish gain.
And I am equally as thrilled to inform you of all the ways in which being a greedy asshole has won me a luxurious lifestyle and sheer prestige for my old ass with no conscience or inclination to change or reform my evil ways.
So allow us two old coots to explain our nefarious dealings in partnership. On April 22, 2021, Dan and I live-streamed an interview in which Dan stated that his corrupt New York-based company International Investigative Group is contracted with the New York Metropolitan Transit Authority Police for giving pre-employment tests to potential candidates.
Sketchy individuals such as ourselves are very predictable in how you deal with us. Once you expose a mistake or act of dishonesty or fraud on our parts, we usually try to correct it straight away at the same time we try to suppress your complaints or warnings. If you start informing others that we are not trustworthy, we start going, oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna sue you or pull the court shit on you, sue you for damages, or remove all your YouTube videos, this, that or the other, or whatever mind trick will work in case the real truth about us got out.
Take for example the Steve Wilkos Show. If you attempt to report a false polygraph result Dan gives you or any extreme emotional distress Steve inflicts on you or your loved ones, the show in most cases won't pursue legal action. They will only threaten, bully, and blackmail you in the cowardly hopes that you will either keep your mouth shut or do whatever they want you to do. As I was recently informed, Dan deliberately provided multiple guests on Steve's show bogus polygraph results to boost the show's shock value and bring in more views, which falsely accused the mother of killing her missing daughter, exonerated a guilty mother and father of killing their baby, and nearly caused the suicide of one of Dan's innocent examinees. Additionally, yet another guilty man eventually admitted to killing another infant despite that Dan's test wrongfully found him innocent. I was also told that Dan conspired with his fellow detectives at his New York agency to have these other detectives rape one of his surveillance targets.
Most people don't know this of course, but this is the real reason I no longer work on Steve's show. And maybe the fact that I was also caught talking shit about Steve might have something to do with it too.
As another case in point, the creators of this YouTube channel contacted me shortly before my scheduled video interview with Dan, in which I was informed that Steve and Dan falsely accused an innocent guest on Steve's show of abusing her children using phony test results by Dan's fraudulent TV polygraph. Further, I was also told that Dan aided his detectives at his investigative firm in sexually assaulting one of his surveillance subjects, for which Dan is now undergoing litigation in a $50 million lawsuit. At first, I responded by stating that I would research into the numerous news reports and physical visual evidence proving these charges to be true. However, I also made excuses for Dan by stating my opinion that he does more good than bad. Then, shortly afterward, I deleted all the comments on my YouTube video warning me about how fake Dan is and all the statements directing me to proof of said fakeness. Afterward, I re-edited my own incriminating responses to these comments, and then went on to interview Scam Ribacoff anyway.
Narcissists like DutyRon, Sleaze Wilkos and I are always trying to prove ourselves, always trying to get the upper hand, and always trying to be the so-called top dog. We believe we are pack leaders to humans. The real truth is of course that we are not leaders to anyone. In all reality, we can't even lead ourselves. Just because Steve, DutyRon and I are all former cops, it does not mean we are capable of coping with certain skills in our personal lives. We might produce a few good words but we are fraudsters as well.
Along with this, it has been reported that racial discrimination may have also taken place in the process of employees being selected via the questionable contract between Dan's company and the NYMTAPD. Therefore, this and other stories continue to pop up, proving that fraudulent shits like ourselves are ultimately looking for clout and revenue. People can only hide behind abusing others for money and views for so long. Our viewers start to think, hey, maybe we better look at this and see the reality of the truth.
So in other words what we are really saying is, We don't want you to tell people we have been defrauding and abusing people for years, or our image will be screwed, and if you do try to expose us, we will sue you in court. Good luck with that, huh? Of course, we might also use the argument that those who accuse us are unhealthy, alcoholic, and mentally ill and don't know what they are talking about, but if we think we could pinch money from unhealthy individuals, why would we even mess with them? That doesn't even make any sense now that I think about it. Now, with DutyRon's assistance, I am trying to suppress those who expose me in order to avoid losing face off of compromising my innocent victims.
This is what us two fakers are doing and trying to silence others. So the administrators of this channel, the truth about Steve Wilkos, can you handle it? Try to expose my attempts to support Dan despite knowing of his immoral habits. After they uploaded a video consisting of the comments I deleted and or amended, but mostly deleted on one of my videos, I reported to YouTube that these people are being mean to me because I am choosing to applaud scam Ribacoff as legitimate despite that I know that he drove an innocent mother of four to a near-fatal suicide attempt, and that he encouraged his operatives at his detective business to rape one of his female subjects. I used the excuse that they used a short clip from my video to have this expose video removed. To see excerpts of the deleted video, and all of the incriminating comments I deleted and or revised from my video, click on the first link in the description box.
At the end of the day, we are all bark and no bite. We merely threaten in the hopes that you will listen. So this move is a bluff. Just like when I tried to accuse one of my victims, Suzanne Goldsmith, of being the one who raped her rapists even though they are physically twice her size.
And I 100% support Dan as the real deal despite knowing how destructive and dangerous he is to my fellow man, because just like with him and Steve, I find the idea of popularity and wealth more attractive than the idea of uncovering the real truth, and if you try to make my actions public, I will have YouTube place a copyright strike on one of your videos.
To learn more about how I was caught talking shit about Steve behind his back and all the other embarrassing exposures about me, click on the second link in the description below. And now stay tuned for the following public service announcement.
So we hope this report serves as a warning to those who commute in New York that the police who staff your subways might not be creditable.
If you're a resident of New York who depends on public transportation, we highly advise that you visit the links to the sources provided in the description, and then contact your governor, your attorney general, or any other relevant enforcement authorities with any concerns you have.
Those who have been victimized by Dan Ribacoff, Steve Wilkos or their associates may also contact the Federal Communications Commission, or we tip if you want to remain anonymous.
Woo Enzo. That train cop that Dan Ribacoff pre-approved for employment just whistled at you.
No, he didn't. He whistled at you.
No, he didn't. He whistled at you.
I think the cop was a she.
No, she wasn't. She was a he.
Listen, let's just finish this discussion in a safer place. Boy, that was certainly a traumatic experience. I think the cop was in fact a he and whistling at me after all.
That is not surprising, given that Dan employs rapists. His polygraphs would probably approve cops who sexually harass the commuters they are supposedly protecting too.
Although Steve and Dan will frequently advise their guests to seek professional help, Steve is the one who needs to professionally run his stage, and Dan is the one who needs to professionally run his business, before either of them can be in a position to tell people to professionally run their lives.
Never be afraid to speak up. Steve and Dan are the ones who need to be afraid. They need to stop defrauding people and using this manipulation of power and control in which they tell people, you better do as we say or else. But the more of their survivors come forward, the more the stipulations around the contract Steve tricks his guests into signing might well diminish. Remember, there is strength in numbers.
Whether or not you want ignorance to remain bliss for you is purely your prerogative. Either way, the truth about Steve Wilkos will inevitably be brought into light.
Only then will we see how well the world can handle it.